Hey, it's Melissa Galt, aka Prosper by Design, and I'm back with video 2 in simple secrets to attract and capture your ideal client for more profit with more passion and to make a more powerful difference. Now, what we're going to cover here today are 2 of the 7 laws of client attraction and where to start looking for your ideal client and target market. Sound good? All right, here's the tricky bit. If you did not do the exercise in video 1, you're going to be significantly lost today. You've got to have a very clear picture of your ideal client in order to proceed. So if you didn't do it, head back and do video number 1. Make sure you download the PDF that I created for you with the 39 plus fast answer questions to help you dive deep into your ideal client. Now that means you can have 3 primary targets, not 23, not 53, and not 103. Let's get you clear and focused, which brings me to the first law of client attraction, the law of focus. And what focus says is that when you are clear on who your ideal client is, you will rise head and shoulders above the competition because your ideal client will be able to spot you amongst the noise in the marketplace because you're so focused on them. It's kind of like when you buy a new car, and up until that time you really hadn't noticed very many of the car you were buying or the color that you're buying on the road, but all of a sudden, because you're focused on it, everywhere you look, everybody seems to be driving your make, model, and color. Well, it's like that. Getting focused is like painting a target on you for your ideal client. It helps them to see you in the marketplace because you're laser focused on them. Now, the second law is the law of personality. And that states that you've got to bring your whole personality, not just selected pieces, to every client opportunity so that you can form those unique points of connection that build your know, like, and trust factor. The law of personality also allows you to dive deep into your client, finding out their unique pain, priorities, and pleasure points that you can then leverage in your exchanges and your marketing with them. Very important feature in the law of personality. Now, let's dive straight into where you can start looking for your ideal client when you know who that is. If you don't know who that is, you can't start looking in these places. These places, by the way, are going to apply to both B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer. I hope you've got an index card out because this is about bite-sized steps to success. If you take too big a bite, you'll get overwhelmed and indigestion, and I don't want that to happen. So I like to use the index card method. Now, the first place to look is associations, and the easiest way to look in associations is in the columbiabooks.com. Columbia Books are a directory of associations. You can purchase them on Amazon. It can be a bit of an investment, but you don't need the latest version to get benefit. You could get an older, used version. Or, old-fashioned but it works, try the library. It's free after all. And they probably have the latest version and even an online CD version to make it super easy to look it up. Associations apply to every field imaginable, whether you work with attorneys, virtual assistants, accountants, designers, artists. There are associations, multiple associations for every industry imaginable. In interior design alone, there's at least a dozen. And in the legal profession, you've got layers of them from city to state to regional to national. So again, knowing who your target market clearly is will help you determine the right associations for you to explore. And most associations have a newsletter, online or offline, and they're always looking for expert content. Guess what? That's where you come in. You provide expert articles and posts, and they'll allow you to include a short bio and a link back to your website, maybe a PDF download for them, or a squeeze page, something we're going to talk about a little bit later on in another video. So, associations are number one. Forums are number two. You can do a Google search on forums with some keywords related to your niche market, your ideal client. Forums are a great place for you to become the trusted advisor. You never want to solicit. You want to elicit trust by providing expert solutions and advice to the questions and issues you see cropping up that your market is voicing in forums. Forums are available for business as well as for consumers. So if you're a B2C, it's a good opportunity for you. So associations and forums. In your local market, if you're serving businesses, don't overlook the Chamber of Commerce. It's a great place to meet small business owners in a variety of industries. So whether you want to target a lot of different industries or just one or two, the Chamber can be a real help with that. And it puts you face to face and voice to voice. Very important in an age of virtuality to be able to leverage reality. Another opportunity for you is getting involved in charitable events in your community as well as online. Charities will align you with your target market in a way that nothing else can, because it shows that not only are you a trusted source, but you've got a heart of gold, and that really does count. Now, I don't want you doing this just for marketing purposes. I want you doing this if it comes from the heart. That's important because people can sense that difference, but it is a good opportunity. And if you are involved in current charities, let your market know about that. It humanizes you and it shows them what's important to you. Maybe it's the Humane Society and you've got a soft spot for pets and pet rescue. Or it could be something to do with kids. It could be to do with domestic violence. It could be to do with Habitat for Humanity or feeding the homeless. There's so many great causes out there today. Leverage charity, one that speaks to you, to reach your market. Volunteering is always a good idea too. Another great way to meet your market is through meetup.com. That's meetup.com. Climb online, check out the zillions of interests that Meetup covers. Check out a couple that are near and dear to you. Go to the meetups. Could be 5 people or 50 people. You just don't know. Before you start your own meetup, which by the way can be a great way to meet clients. I've had a couple of colleagues do that with outrageous success. And I've been to meetups where I've met prospects that have become clients. So I really encourage you to spend some time on this. My bet is that whether you've just started in business or you've been in business for 5 to 10 years, you've hit that place where you've got a little bit more time than you do resources. So let's leverage that. Invest that time in looking at associations, forums, the chamber, if you're going after small business owners, looking at Meetup. And next on my list of favorites, LinkedIn groups. Now, LinkedIn is a great place in general as a business network, but LinkedIn groups is really valuable territory because that's where those birds of a feather are flocking together. That means that groups are going to attract like-minded individuals. And when you know your target market that clearly, you're likely to find a lot of them in any given group that caters to them. Again, it's kind of like the forums. You don't want to solicit inside the groups. You want to elicit trust and build relationships, generating that know, like, and trust factor that is essential to create opportunities for people to purchase your services and experience your value. But again, just like the forums, you can always add a link to a blog post, a link to a download, a checklist that you've created, something of value. You can even share videos. Lots of neat ways to share your expert content. Now, of course, there's Twitter and Facebook, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them. Very valuable places to find your target market. Fastest way to do that? Look at who else serves your target market and check them out. Let them have done the advanced work for you. It's very simple and perfectly ethical to follow their followers, to friend their friends, and to invite their fans to become your fans. You've just got to be sharing value to make it happen. Okay, so I've given a lot to you in a short period of time. I've got one more thing I got to cover, and that's about networking. Because I do want to encourage you this week, in the next 7 days, I want you to get out there and attend one live event. Just one. Whether it's 10 people in a meetup group or 50 to 100 in a formal networking event, but I want it to be networking, not working. And that means you've got to avoid being the thruster. You know when somebody shoves their business card in your face? Yikes! That's not how to do it. And this isn't about collecting 30 business cards and getting home and bragging, I've got a collection of 30 business cards. Whoop-de-doo. I'd rather you collected 3. You got to know and speak with 3 individuals well enough that you can then move it to coffee or a quick lunch. Find out what they need. What resource are they looking for? What connection can you provide? Because when you pay it forward with them, they will pay it back to you. Now, it may not come directly from them. It may come in another format, but lead with the pay it forward attitude. That attitude of, what can I do for you to connect you faster to your dreams and your goals? So I encourage you to go forth and don't stand at the edge of the food table with a glass of wine in hand, not meeting anybody. I know that feeling. I've been there and I've done that. Instead, I want you to imagine when you walk into the event and you're feeling those butterflies and you're really uncomfortable that it's your party. And if it were your party, you'd be moving through that room, introducing people to one another, meeting newcomers. Perhaps you have some folks that showed up at your party that you don't know before because a friend brought them. Imagine that. And you're confident and comfortable and in charge. Because everybody feels uncomfortable networking. They just don't show it. So make it work for you. Focus on just 3 people, not 30. And then move it to a quick coffee or a short lunch, so you can find out more about them and how you can deliver value, because it will come back to you. So that's it for today's video. I want you to get busy before the next video, which comes out in just a couple of days from now. Please, I want your comments below. Very important. I want you to share which of the methods I've shared with you here today you're going to use and explore. Are there methods that you're currently using or that you've learned of that you'd like to share? I've got a ton more, but I wanted to give you some highlights to get you off and moving. Together, we all go farther. Prosper by design, and I can't wait to see you in video number 3. Comment below.